in the context of an investigation for a novel, I was reading Josephus recently in order to get a picture of pre-70 AD Jerusalem. And I bumped into the following quote, and I will show that for you. And that quote is from a guy called Eliezer, and he is quoted by Josephus after the destruction of Jerusalem, and it reads as follows: "Where is the city that was believed to have God himself inhabiting therein? It is now demolished to the very foundation and has nothing but a monument of it preserved. I mean, the camp of those that has destroyed it, which dwells upon its ruins." Well, what this guy is saying is that only the camp of the Romans was left standing after the otherwise complete destruction of Jerusalem, including the temple. Now, we all know what the only construction is that is still there, and that is this huge citadel-like structure we call the Temple Mount, and what can be seen on this picture I'll have shown you. This quote seems to suggest that this citadel was in fact the Roman fortress. Now, I don't want to jump to a premature conclusion or indulge in wild speculation, but it was enough for me to have a closer look at this issue. And if the previously given quote of Josephus would have been the only piece of information that challenges the conventional opinion, then there might have been another way to interpret this isolated quote, but in fact it isn't. In fact, there is a lot more that challenges the conventional opinion. And in order to define what the conventional opinion is, I show you here a picture of the famous maquette of ancient Jerusalem, which can be found in Jerusalem itself. And this is the conventional opinion, that this citadel-like structure was actually the place where the temple was located, and that you had a Roman fortress here on the northwest side of the temple. Well, and then you see the general layout of the walls, and up in the distance here you see the palace of Herod, and this will be the lower city or the city of David. So that is the conventional opinion, and basically it is the picture or the map from Jerusalem what you see over here, with the temple on this citadel-like structure, and here the lower city, and on the northwest corner fortress Antonia. Basically, this whole video series will be about the difference between this option and this option. This is the conventional option with Antonia here and the temple here, and based on a lot of information, I would say there is good reason to think that the configuration is like this, that this citadel-like structure we find in the midst of Jerusalem is actually Fortress Antonia, and the temple is over here. Now notice that it is not only a shift of the Antonia fortress and a shift of the temple, but there are also some consequences to names given to some towers, like Hippicus and Phasaelus, as well as some of the gates. Notice how they change here. Okay. Now, there are a lot of facets on this subject, and the risk is real to end up rambling on about a whole bunch of unsorted and unrelated arguments, but that is of course not what I want to do. I want therefore to separate the arguments in 4 different categories. And the first category is what Josephus has to tell us. I just give you one quote, but there are more. And in that chapter, I will show that given the alternative location, it actually makes more sense what Josephus is telling us, or what he implies about the geographical coherence when he is discussing the buildings, the walls, and the battles. The number 2 will be about what common sense has to say about the given geographical options. That chapter is about logistics and financial issues and political issues, doing some basic calculations here and there. Number 3, that video will be about what the Bible has to say, namely about the locations. That will be about the threshing floor of Arona, the Jebusite, the Mount Moriah and relative elevations and things like that. And number 4 will be about the archaeological findings and what archaeology indicates. That will be about excavations and the findings and probably the non-findings as well. And maybe there will be a 5th video as well, in which I will address the possible counter-arguments. It is my intention to do that in several different videos, and hopefully all of them will be limited to 12, 15 minutes. Thank you for listening.